Welcome back to Dateline Schools. As you can see, we're on location as we're in the brand new Marysville High School. And right now we're standing in the superintendent's office. And as you'll see today, you'll notice that there are a lot of work still needs to be done. That's because we're here recording about 6 weeks prior to the start of school. But we wanted to give you a good glimpse of what's going on here at the new Marysville High School. And to give us a personal tour, I'd like to welcome in the superintendent of Marysville Schools, John Silveri. And John, welcome.
Thank you, Terry.
Nice new office. I think you're going to be pleased with this, right?
Very nice, very nice. I get a nice view of the front of the building, the main door. It's a great location. Excited to be part of a high school building rather than a separate office.
Oh, I can only imagine. And what an exciting summer for you, but I imagine it's been a little nerve-wracking and making sure everything gets done and all the detail you have to follow through on a construction project like this.
I'd say very busy. I wouldn't say nerve-wracking because we have great confidence in our construction management team and we know that everything is on track, on schedule, but it's certainly been very, very busy, very hectic, and but the nice thing is that the finish line is so close and we're very excited to get there and share the building with our students, staff, and community.
I know the focus of our program today is to give the community a glimpse of the new building and take a look inside and things. But this isn't the only project that you've been involved with for the last couple of years around the district, is it?
No, not even close. We passed our bond in May of 2007. Since then, we've renovated all 3 of our elementary schools, our middle school, our football stadium, put up new tennis courts. It's been quite hectic, a lot going on through the district for a long time.
What does a district of this scope mean for the staff, for the students, and especially for the community of Marysville?
Well, when I first came, one of the biggest issue, as I talked to folks, was concern for the state of the facilities. So we've been able to alleviate that. We've put our facilities in great shape for many, many years to come. And in a town like Marysville, a relatively small town, and it's, the schools tend to be a focal point of the community. The schools mean a lot to people in general, so it's been an exciting time for everybody, and to have our schools in such great shape for our students is exciting.
This will really become a point of pride for the community, won't it?
Huge point of pride for the community. I know it's been the talk of the town. Every place I go, anybody I talk to, this is always what they ask about, and I know that they'll be very, very proud once they see the building finished and get a chance to see how beautiful it is.
Now we're going to take a tour through the building, see the classrooms and some of the other many. What are some of the unique features that you're putting into this new building?
Probably the biggest thing is space and lighting, I would say. Part of the problem in the former Marysville High School was cramped quarters, very narrow hallways. It was very tight. Gym being a little bit on the small size, the pool, just about everything. Mm-hmm. So to have wide open spaces here, plenty of room for kids to breathe and move is one thing. A lot of natural light throughout the building too, which is really going to enhance the learning environment. And
just looking around the room that we're in, your new office, this looks bright and airy and even larger. So tell us about this part of the building that we're in right now.
Well, I'll go back and say again, I'm so excited that our central offices will be part of a school building now rather than being held separately within the community. This will now house, of course, superintendent's area, business, personnel, special education, curriculum. Those have all been separated for many, many, many years because we just haven't had the space. We have several conference rooms so that we can conduct business as we need to, and it should meet our needs quite nicely.
When do you hope to bring your staff and all your desks and everything into this part of the building?
We're hopeful that we're going to be able to get in and begin to occupy it in mid to late August. No guarantees there with construction, we know that. The drop-dead deadline for completion needs to be September 1st. That's when our teaching staff returns.
But in the meantime, you're still maintaining your offices at City Hall, so if you have questions or need to register students or whatever, that's where the community still needs to go.
Absolutely, and the city's been very accommodating. They'll let us stay just as long as we need to until this facility is ready.
And that's really a major change for the district because of your relationship you've had with the city for so many decades.
It's a big change. It's going to be important for us, and we've talked about this, to continue to keep the lines of communication open. We'll have to go a little bit more out of our way to communicate. It's been really easy for me, for example, to walk down the hallway, talk to Jack Schumacher, our city manager. We'll lose that luxury, but we're still very close. Mm-hmm. We will make a point to keep the lines of communication open and keep the relationship as it is now.
I think that's really been one of the real unique features of the Marysville School District because of that close relationship, too, isn't it?
I think so, and again, it's our intention to keep that relationship just as close and as sound as it is now.
Okay. Well, here we are in the administration part of the building. Just outside your doors is the commons area, and that's really a key area for the high school, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
Why don't you go, let's go out there and take a look, and you can tell us all about that.
All right, thanks.
Well, John, here we come out of the office areas. Now we're into the common area of the high school. This is really a key part of the high school for you, isn't it?
Yes, it is. We have 3 main entry points back here behind me. This is the entry where nearest the parking lot, so students will park here, staff members will park here. This is where they'll first come into the building. When people park there for after-school activities, athletic events, theater, that's where they'll park and enter, so they come into the commons. The main entrance to the building is back this way as well. As people come into the main entrance, again, they're going to come into the office area, but that's going to be directly connected to the commons. And then we have a bus loop entry closest to where the kids get off the buses. And again, as the kids enter back there, they'll be coming directly into the commons.
So everything funnels right here.
Yes, it does.
Okay, looking down here, I see a lot of glass windows. What's behind all the glass back here?
These glass windows here are where the high school administration offices are housed. And they will all be together, unlike the old high school where student services was separate, athletics was separate from the main offices. Everything will be together, and the glass enables people within the offices to be able to see right into the commons area. And then again, right off to behind me here is the central administration offices where we just were.
And looking over here too, this is what's going to be equivalent to a cafeteria? This is where the students will be meeting for lunch and things?
It really is. As we look down at the very end, way down that way, what you see is basically a concessions area that will perhaps to serve breakfast in the morning down the line, after or during athletic events and performances. That can serve as a concession area as well. But right behind that is the kitchen and serving area for students. So students will go back there, get their food, come right back out, and the tables will be set up there, and they'll eat right here in the commons. And as you can see, unlike the previously very tiny space that we had in our former high school, we have space to accommodate as many kids as we need to.
And I was going to say, I mean, you can just see the openness and how much it's going to be better for your students. Now, will you be able to put all your students in here for lunches, or are you still going to do like an ABC lunch like you had to do in the past?
We'll be able to fit them all, but our initial plan, our kids have been great at handling open campus. Our intention is to maintain our open campus, but we'll see. You know, if in an emergency, in a pinch, if we needed ever to go beyond that and house all of our students, we could do that here.
Great. And it's kind of interesting seeing the architecture too with the openness and all of that. I can only imagine how much of a buzz we'll have in here when the students start coming in.
A lot of natural lighting, and then again, big wide open spaces is tremendous. Again, you know, as in terms of everything being accessed from the commons, the main gym is here, the auditorium is down there at the end, access to the academic wing, administration offices, everything's here.
Okay, great. Well, why don't you lead us on the way? Let's go up to the academic wing and take a look at some of the classrooms that you have.
Sounds good.
Great. Here we are up on the 2nd floor of the new Marysville High School and beginning to enter one of the classrooms. And John, how many classrooms are being built as part of the construction here?
41 classrooms.
Now that's is that more than what you had at the other building or about the same?
It's more than what we had at the other building. This is intended to accommodate more students than the previous high school, yes.
Okay. Good. Yeah, tell us a little bit about what the amenities are in the classrooms that you have, and are they going to be all alike, everyone equipped the same?
Well, let me start with the fact that they won't all be alike. Of those 41 classrooms, we have 8 classrooms specifically designed for science. The casework, and even the student stations. In effect, they're sitting at a lab station. They'll be getting instruction there, but they'll be able to conduct experiments in various labs right there where they're sitting. So those are quite different, 4 up on the 2nd floor and 4 on the 1st floor. Some other specialty classrooms include the music rooms, a band room, and choir room, specifically designed for those particular purposes. I'd say the same for the art rooms. We'll have 2 of those. But the general classrooms, for the most part, are basically the same, other than on the 2nd floor. There is a little bit more of a sloped ceiling to it. So it has the feel of being a little bit bigger, where in fact it's the same size.
And the slope is just for design purposes, or does it help with acoustics? Or?
It's mainly for design, and it's to enable that much more lighting to enter in as well.
Now, do all your classrooms have large windows like we see here?
They do. An architectural feature throughout the building is to add as much natural lighting as possible. On any given day with the blinds open, chances are with plenty of sunlight you wouldn't even need to turn the lights on. And that's one of the features that we think is going to really enhance the learning environment. We're excited about that.
Okay. What about the technology? I notice we're standing here with what they call a smart board. All the rooms going to be equipped with something like this?
They are. This is an interactive whiteboard. Every classroom within the high school is going to have one of these, and what that will finish is currently we've put interactive whiteboards in every classroom at all 3 of our elementaries and middle school. So once this is done, every classroom in the district will have these.
And how do the teachers use these?
In effect, it's like a computer touch screen. There's a projector that projects down. They can manipulate their laptop computer to change what the students see here. But and that's why they call it interactive, and the students can come up and actually use it as a touch screen to click, drag, and interact with the screen itself.
So technology is going to be a big part of your new building as well?
It's a huge part of it, yes.
And you mentioned projectors. Now every room's going to have a projector too as well?
They will, yes. And that's the same again in the elementaries and middle school. It's an integral part of making the smartboard work.
Okay. Now, also, when we were talking about the band and the choir room, the music rooms and that, they have a kind of a unique design too, just looking at the walls and the things that you have set up there to keep the band sound in the band room, right?
They were designed with acoustics in mind to make sure that, right, as things get loud in the band room, especially, more so than the choir room, but it's designed to absorb the sound so that as you're outside of the band room, you're really not hearing it too much. It's also designed to give the type of sound that really enables the students and the band instructor to be able to hear the sound much better than if they just had a regular classroom that was used for that type of a purpose.
Now, you also have some practice rooms and things too, right?
In between the choir and the band rooms, there are several practice rooms that can be used by both programs. It's a very nice feature.
That's something that's totally new here for you guys, right?
It's very new, yes.
Imagine your fine arts teachers are pretty excited about that.
Oh, they're thrilled, and they should be, to know that they have rooms designed in the 21st century for 21st century use, specifically for those programs. It doesn't get better than that.
Well, we're upstairs in the new high school. Let's go back downstairs and show us the new media center.
Sounds great.
We have here. Okay, great.
Thank you.
Well, John, here we are entering the new media center, and for most high schools, this is a room that's changed a lot. And obviously, with the new school, it's changing for you too. So, what are you going to be doing with the new media center here at the high school?
Well, it's quite a bit larger, for one, than our existing media center. One of the key features and what makes it very different is the computer labs. We have in each corner of the media center is a full-blown computer lab that can house 30 students. We'll conduct classes there. That will be the home of several classrooms too, but they'll also be open for use by teachers and students as needed throughout the course of the day.
Now, when we talk about technology in schools, a lot of people are advocating for e-textbooks and that kind of stuff. Are you doing the same thing, or are you still going to have, the traditional library books and periodicals and some of those things too?
This will be a mixture. We're still going to have the traditional books and periodicals, and we think that's important. I don't envision us ever going completely away from that, and I would hope not, to be honest with you. So we'll have plenty of capacity for that. We'll be adding really completely new materials here for the most part, so students will have that to look forward to. But then again, with the technological advances, it's really moving into a 21st century space versus what we had before.
Now, in most schools, everything's all hardwired for the internet access and that. Are you doing the same thing, or are you going to put wireless in here?
We're going to have wireless here. We're going to have wireless at this point in various key spots within the building, but we're still at the final stages of our entire district project, and we're hopeful that the funding is going to permit us to make this entire building wireless, and we're crunching numbers now and hoping to make that happen.
Okay. One of the things I noticed here too, obviously you've got the high ceilings and you can see the hallways and things from the upper part of the building. But I see a lot of speakers in here. What are those for? Are you going to have music in here for the kids, or what are you going to do?
Well, we could, but primarily we're going to be able to hold meetings here. After hours, for example, our school board meetings will be held here. Previously, they've been in the city council chambers in the city building. As of now, we'll have a classroom set of furniture pretty close to where we're standing now that will be facing this way. There's a drop-down screen and a projector that'll be mounted there too that classrooms can use. But for school board meetings, that classroom set of furniture can be rearranged into a board table. Chairs will be put out for the audience. And again, then we can do presentations and folks can hear the proceedings of the meeting very well with the sound here.
Well, you've given us a great glimpse on the academic side. Why don't we take a break and you and I will walk over and we'll go see the fine arts area and also the athletic side. So don't go away.